So on the notes, we have, today we're going to be going over a system of linear equations. So a system of equations is two or more equations. And the equations that we're going to be graphing are lines. So two or more equations, which means two or more lines. So when we solve that system, when we graph those two or more equations or those two or more lines, we're going to see that the solution of a system of equations is where the two or more equations intersect. So where the two or more equations intersect, which means where they cross each other. So here's two lines. Here's where they intersect. And two lines always intersect at a single point. And we write that point down as x comma y. X comma y. So a system is where two or more is dealing with two or more equations, and then the solution of a system of equations is where the two or more equations intersect. So this lesson is going to feel a little bit like review because we have been graphing straight lines, so we're going to do some more of the graphing of straight lines today. But instead of graphing one line at a time, we're going to graph two lines. And instead of just graphing a line to graph a line, we're going to graph a line and then graph another line and then see where they cross. So our purpose today is going to be a little bit different. But it's going to feel repetitive of practice we've done the last 2 days, which will be kind of nice because it'll feel like we're not really doing a lot differently than we did before. So if we start with the first example, it says 5/3 x plus 4. Where should we start this graph? At 4. So we're going to start right here at the 4. And then how do we draw the slope of 5/3? Where do we go from here? For 5/3. Up 5 and right 3. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay that I'm off the graph. I'm going to do it anyways. And then I go to the right 1, 2, 3. And I'm definitely out of space. And so if I'm out of space, what do I do for the next point? Down 5 and left 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then since these are equations today, we don't have to worry about dotted lines or solid lines. We just get to draw solid lines. And today's one of the days where a ruler is going to be helpful. Drawing straight lines is really important because we do want our lines to be accurate so we can see where they actually cross. Okay, the other one says negative 1/3 x minus 2. So where do we start that line? Negative 2. And then the slope says negative 1/3. So how do we draw that slope? Down 1 to the right 3. Down 1 to the right 3. And when we run out of space, what do we do? Down 1 to the right 3 is normal, and when we run out of space, we do up 1 to the left 3. So in the other direction, you're going to do up 1, left 3, up 1, left 3. So down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, and then up 1, left 3, up 1, left 3, up 1, left 3 to get some more points in there. So from here, up 1, left 3, up 1, left 3. And then I can see where it crosses. Anybody know what coordinate that is? -3, -1. So the solution to the system of equations is -3, -1. Okay? Let's try the next one. So in this one, both of the equations need to be fixed so that we can graph them. So I'll go ahead and start with the first one. 4x minus y equals -2. What am I going to do so that I can graph that one? Subtract the 4x. Okay. Okay. And bring down the -4x. And bring down the -2. And then what do we do to make it so the y is all alone? Divide by -1, divide by -1, divide by -1. So y equals, what's the slope? Positive 4x. And what's the number on the end? Positive 2. And if we have a whole number 4 and we want the whole number 4 to be written as a fraction, what do? Put it over 1. Okay, so for that line, we're going to start at 2. And then where should we go? Up 4, right 1. And then I ran out of space. Down 4 and left 1. Down 4 and left 1. Okay. All right, the next one says 12x minus 3y equals 12. So what should we do first? Okay, subtract the 12x over. Okay. -3y equals, and then which of these do we write first? -12x comes first, and then what should I write? Plus 12, okay. And then I want to get the y alone. Divide by -3. Okay. So y equals, anyone know what -12 divided by -3 is? Positive 4. 4x, and then now we have a positive 12 divided by a -3. -4 this time, okay. So we can start at -4, and then we need a fraction for this one. So we've got positive 4, and if we write it as a fraction, how do we do that? Over 1. So up 4 over how many? 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Yeah. Okay, so if we look at this one, it doesn't look like they're crossing. Now, is it just that they're not crossing on my graph and my graph isn't big enough? Or is it that they're just never going to cross? They're never going to cross. How do we know they won't ever cross? They're parallel lines. So if we have a system of equations is two or more lines and the solution is where they intersect, we do have a situation where they won't intersect. That's if they're parallel. Make sure you let that person know. Say, if two lines are parallel, they don't cross. Make sure they know. Make sure they know. Okay. So we'll say the solution is where two or more lines intersect. We're going to say no solution if the lines are parallel. If lines are parallel, because that's important. We want to know when there's no solution. And then down here for this example, I'm going to write, okay, that's the answer for this one, no solution. Those lines never cross. Okay. Let's look at the next problem. It says x plus y equals 2. What should I do? Any ideas? Subtract what? What am I subtracting? 1 x. I got to move the x, right? So I'm going to subtract the x. And then that leaves me with y equals, and what should I write first? The negative x, negative 1x. And then what should I write? Positive 2. You don't have to. You can write negative x. Negative x is fine. So negative 1x is beneficial if you like to have a number there. So negative 1 is what I'm going to put just so I have a number there for the slope. And if I want this negative 1 to be a fraction, how do I turn it into a fraction? Put it over a 1 so I can see what my fraction is. You can't be texting the whole time. I can clearly see you. Your screen is like distracting me. It's like bright, shiny object. I'm teaching, I'm like squirrel, you know? Like. All right. Where do we start the graph? 2. Okay. And then where do we go from there? Down 1 over 1. Hold on, Destiny. We gotta, did I leave a paper for you over there? I did not. Oh, there's notes somewhere. Where did I put them? Oh, right here. Okay, here we go. All right. And then from there we go down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Okay, that's plenty of points. All right, so let me be careful as I draw this line. Okay. For the other one, we have 2x minus 3y equals 9. And what do we need to do? Minus the 2x. Minus the 2x. Okay. So we have negative 3y equals what? Plus 9. Okay. Divide by negative 3. Perfect. Okay. So y equals. If we do a negative divided by a negative, what do we get? A positive. Okay, so 2/3. positive 2/3? Is it just like this, or am I forgetting something? I forgot the x. Okay, put the x there. And then what do I have? So if I divide these, -3, okay? And so now I'm going to start my graph at -3, and then from there, where do I go? Up to right 3. Up 1, 2 to the right 3. Up 1, 2 to the right 3. And what's the point where these lines cross? 3 to the right 3, down 1. 3, -1. Okay. Okay, we got x minus 3y equals -9. What's our first step? Subtract 1x. Minus the x over. And which one do we write first? The -1x. And then the -9. Okay. Okay. Have we gotten to a point where this is starting to be easy and boring? That's a good point. That's where we want to be. Easy and boring means accurate. Usually. Usually means we can get it right. Okay. What's our fraction in front of x? Positive 1/3 x plus 3. Okay. So where are we going to start? At the 3. And then where are we going to go? If your slope is positive, we're going to go up 1 and right 3. Up 1 and right 3. So making sure, since we had a negative over a negative, our negatives canceled out. So up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3. I ran out of space. What should I do now? Down 1, left 3, since I ran out of space. Okay. Now the other one doesn't have 2 letters, it only has 1 letter. It says x equals 3. What does that mean? The x coordinate is always 3. So we could have like 3, 0. What else could we have? 3, 2. What else could we have? 3, 4. 3, 6. 3, 8. What about some negatives? 3, -6. Okay, let's graph these points. So we got 3, 0. We got 3, 2. We got 3, 4. 3, 6. 3, -6. Okay. So if we graph those points, that means that x equals 3 is a vertical line. And where do the lines cross? 3, 4. Perfect. All right, how are we feeling about graphing our lines? Feeling pretty good? We got graphing down. How we feel about solving for y to get our lines ready to graph? We feel pretty good about that? We becoming pros? Okay, I got some problems for you. I think you guys will probably be able to get them done and have no homework this weekend. That's my guess.